Ladies and gentlemen, the ASEAN Future Forum 2024 has received widespread attention and high-level support from the various sectors within ASEAN and its partners. The discussion at ASEAN Future Forum 2024 have emphasized that ASEAN's central role remains crucial in maintaining peace and stability in the region. Building on the momentum from these discussions, Vietnam will continue to host the ASEAN Future Forum 2025 this February with the theme Building a United, Inclusive and Resilient ASEAN Amidst Global Transformations. Ahead the forum, today we will engage in discussion about the story of ASEAN and expectation for the forum with two distinguished speakers. I want to introduce to Dr. Nguyen Hung Son, Acting President of Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam, and Ambassador Dato Tan Jang Thai, Malaysian Ambassador to Vietnam. We sincerely thank our guests for joining today's program. Start with the first part of the talk show related to the ASEAN, strong from within and shaping peace. And now, the first I want to ask the Dr. Nguyen Hung Son, and you start out as an expert of ASEAN and in the ASEAN department of the military, right? So, what do you think about the spirit of solidarity and the cohesion along with the development goal of ASEAN community, such as the ASEAN Community Vision 2045 of ASEAN?
Well, first of all, allow me to express my gratitude for including me in this fascinating program. I'm very excited. Now, speaking about ASEAN, we can say that the whole ASEAN project is about promoting regional unity and solidarity amid a very fast-changing world. Look at where when ASEAN was born, the region was already at that time subject to very strong winds of geopolitical forces in the region. And in that moment, ASEAN decided to form an organization to promote cooperation, promote unity and solidarity among the small and medium nations of the region in order to sustain and be resilient in such a global geopolitical environment. And throughout this nearly 6 decades, ASEAN continued to build on that project, to build on more members, to build on greater unity and stronger solidarity among its members in order to be even more resilient in today's global politics. And that's exactly what we are today with ASEAN. We are promoting a ASEAN community where solidarity and unity is the strength of the organization. And that we can say that ASEAN has been one of the most successful regional organizations in providing for development, providing peace and stability for the region. And that's, in a sense, a very good function that ASEAN is providing to all the member states. Now, I think ASEAN is looking ahead, 2 decades ahead, and is about to adopt the ASEAN Vision 2045, where ASEAN continues to see itself as a very resilient region, a very innovative region, a region where growth is going to be sustained, and where ASEAN member states will have better opportunities to achieve its ambitions and aspirations. And all member states have great aspirations and ambition. And ASEAN is a great vehicle to help ASEAN member states arrive at that destination in 2045.
Yeah, thank you. The Ambassador Dato, how do you comment about the opportunity for realizing the pathway and strategic vision of ASEAN, including the ASEAN Community Vision, also Malaysian ASEAN Chairmanship 2025 priorities?
Thank you so much for having me this morning for this important talk, and also Dr. Son here as giving us in the importance of this ASEAN Future Forum, which is going to be held next week. And I would like to say a little bit more about the Malaysian chairmanship on 2025. So our Malaysian main priorities for this year's chairmanship is to strengthen ASEAN centrality by promoting strategic trust among nations and through sustained dialogue, diplomacy and goodwill. I think the ASEAN has come a long way, and we have, over the years, we have built trust and goodwill among the leaders, among the officials, and I think many officials can even address each other in a first name basis, and this is how close we are. And second, and to push for greater commitment, and also towards the enhancing ASEAN intra-ASEAN as well as the investment, intra-trade and investment. Having said that, I think we also need to look forward. What do we need to look forward to is that we need to look forward to the idea of a future ASEAN power grid, which in the future, sometime in the future, ASEAN is so confident that they will be able to even trade electricity with one another. I think this is a very good inclusive. And as for 2045, the ASEAN community, I think they like to highlight three key points. First is digital transformation. I think everybody agrees that digital transformation is very vital for us to leapfrog from what we are right now into a digitalized platform, and also this will benefit throughout ASEAN. And then technology, cutting technology like artificial intelligence, quantum computing, smart agriculture, and this will be able to boost our economy productivity, and it will be beneficial to our people, ASEAN community as such. And second, I think advancing sustainability and the green economy, because we have to make sure that the ASEAN Green Agenda give us a unique chance for to transition to a low-carbon economy, and by investing in renewable energy, adopting circular economy practices, and also implementing climate resilient strategies. This is very important. And lastly, the inclusive and equitable development in the heart of ASEAN Community Vision 2045. Our goal is to ensure economic growth benefit everyone across the region. This means bridging the divide. We have the economy divide, the digital divide, and also supporting small, micro, and medium-sized enterprises. These are all building blocks for us to have a very good ASEAN Community 2045. This is what I believe. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Nguyen Hung Son, I know that you have came back from the Security Munich conference, right? So, what do you think about the biggest opportunity and challenges that ASEAN facing in the very complex world?
Well, I'll start with the challenges first, because I just came back from Munich Security Conference, and having observed how the rift among the major powers and among even major allies in the Munich Security Conference, I can tell that the world is in a very complex moment right now. And that is obviously going to affect the environment of this region as well, including the environment where ASEAN operates. So the geopolitical competitions, the fracturing of the global structure is going to have an immense impact on international relations as a whole, including on ASEAN. And that's, I think, a key challenge that ASEAN is going to face. Secondly, we are seeing, and Ambassador have just said, a moment of transformation of the global economies into the green, low-carbon economy, into the digital economy, and that ASEAN will have to also adapt and will also need to retool itself or remodel itself in order to maintain its appealing to international investors, to even our own people, that ASEAN makes sense economically, and the project of ASEAN economic community is going to be successful. So that's another challenge that ASEAN will have to manage. For example, how to lead and be innovative in the semiconductor sectors. I think that's going to be a challenge for ASEAN to manage. And thirdly, I think how to maintain peace and stability. Peace and stability is a prerequisite for any country, any region to develop, and how to prevent this region, the trust that we need to build, not just among ourselves, but also between ASEAN and its important partners, in order to reduce and manage friction that may arise during the course of our development. So that's the key challenges that I think ASEAN is going to face. But having said that, I think ASEAN also has a lot of opportunities. We are at the center of a geopolitically important or most important region of the world. Everybody now talks about the Indo-Pacific, and at the heart of the Indo-Pacific is Southeast Asia. We are connecting all the major civilizations, we are connecting all the major economies, and the geography of Southeast Asia is very central to that new I would say, economic center of the world. Secondly, I think we have the growth dynamics that everybody in the world now feels very attracted to. We are one of the regions with the fastest average growth globally, and we have some extremely good economies in the region. And that's very appealing to international investors, especially when we see other regions are not doing that great. Thirdly, I think we have a very young, talented population that is very well educated, that is very strong on STEM, for example, and that is very suitable for the new transformed economies, the digital economies, the green economies. I think we have those manpowers. I think combined, I think we are even larger than United States and Europe, population-wise, which is very attractive in many views of the world. And fourthly, I think we have an economy that is quite ready to transform into the digital economies, the green economies. We have a very active EV sectors, for example. We have the minerals in order to be able to transform ourselves into the new economy. So we have a lot of great conditions in order to thrive, in order to do economically well, and also in order to be attractive to the world. So that's, I think, the greatest economies that we have, opportunities that we have.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Nguyen Hung Son. Ambassador Dato, what do you comment on the advantages and disadvantages that Dr. Nguyen Hung Son mentioned, especially with the 3 disadvantages and very clear 4 advantages. So can you share more any comment about that?
I think Dr. Son has spots on regarding we are at a pivotal moment where geopolitical tensions, economic uncertainties, and also but at the same time, we also having a very good opportunities to transform ASEAN out of this and kind of transform ASEAN and also propel it to the next level. Hence, we are very confident in this 2045 ASEAN community. And having also wanted to dwell a little bit more regarding the historical part, when Dr. Son just now you mentioned about Southeast Asia is actually a very interesting part where the East meets the West, and it has been that for hundreds of years. We're talking about maybe in Vietnam it will be the port of Hai Phong, if this is current one, but I'm talking about the ancient port of Hue An, yes, and when you talk about Hue An, you talk about Malacca, and in the 4th, 14th, 15th century, they were the center of tradings between the East and West. The West, basically the Arab traders, the Indian traders, the East, basically the Japanese and the Chinese traders, and then coming to our ports and do tradings. And this has not changed for hundreds of years. And we are seeing this being recognized again by the world. But now we are talking about Indo-Pacific. And we again find ourselves in the middle. I think this is a very important and strategically located Southeast Asia. We should use this as an opportunity for us to advance ourselves digitally, green technology, infrastructures, and connectivity between ASEAN countries. This is an opportunity for us to tell the world we are peaceful, we are very well connected regionally, and please come to do business. We do not have any divide. We don't see that you are from where and you are from where. What are your political and beliefs? We are welcome. We just want to have inclusivity and everybody do good business for everyone, and it will also benefit people across the region. This is actually what ASEAN is all about. We started off very fragilely because of geopolitical tensions back in the 60s, and now we are almost 6 decades, and we have managed to calm, stabilize the region for the benefit of all people. And people of ASEAN can freely travel to one another's country, and this has spurred on people-to-people connects, people-with-people trade. This is very important, and I think I hope this will cover what Dr. Son, just to add on what Dr. Son has said just now, and to have a very optimistic future of ASEAN.
Yeah. Yes. So thank you. And Dr. Son, and you also mentioned a lot of difficulty of the ASEAN. So what do you think about the key that ASEAN should to hold to address the challenges? You mentioned to the resilient, the cohesion, and what do you think about this very fundamental principle of ASEAN in the next sector, in the next chapter of ASEAN?
I think if you look at ASEAN, it's a very unique organization. We 10 ASEAN member countries are unique in the sense that we don't have common language, we have different religion, and also different political setup, but we still can manage to be cohesive, talk to one another year in and year out, and cooperate during crisis. I can just name a few, like the recent pandemic crisis and all. ASEAN was really effective and supporting one another, and this is a very good experience, and also internationally we will be able to showcase our unity in diversity. I mean, we are very different from a lot of other regional setup, whereas mostly they are maybe of a similar political ideology and similar thinking and similar civilization. But here in ASEAN, we are very diversified. Because of our diversity, we achieve unity, and this is not easy to achieve, but we have done it. And this is a show to the world that this is possible. And I think this is why the world now is paying much more attention to ASEAN.
Yeah, thank you, Ambassador. Dr. Nguyen Hung Son, I see that recently in many ASEAN forums, a lot of nations, including the great power, show their respect to the ASEAN Central. So what do you think about the ASEAN Central in shaping and promoting peace, stability, and development in the region and in the world?
Yes, you're right. I think ASEAN Central role or ASEAN centrality is something real, not just because ASEAN has a central geographical location, as Ambassador have mentioned, but also because of ASEAN's creativity and ASEAN proactiveness in forging a regional architecture that is very inclusive, that is very welcoming for other international partners to come to this region, interact with this region, and interact with one another. And the layers of ASEAN's mechanism, the so-called concentric circles around ASEAN, puts ASEAN at the center and enable it to be a service provider, not just for its member states, but also to the multitude of regional actors and extra-regional actors who wants to do business with this region. So at the ASEAN Regional Forum, the East Asia Summits, the ASEAN Defense Ministers meetings, and so on and so forth. And now we have the ASEAN's Future Forum. These are all the creations of ASEAN in order to create a multitude platforms to engage and promote cooperation, promote dialogue in a very inclusive, very friendly manner. And I think that is something that is respected by all our friends and partners. Something that you may see that not many regions are able to do. Secondly, I think it's also in ASEAN's ability to forge the right agenda for ourselves and for the international community. When they come, they see that ASEAN is promoting a cooperative, fruitful, and meaningful agenda for promotion of the discussion and for the promotions of cooperation. So we are not biased, we are not politically motivated, or we are not taking any hostile positions to anyone. We are very welcoming, while we are sensitive enough to avoid and to understand our partners to avoid their sensitivities. So I think the ability to forge a meaningful agenda is also a very, very important trait of ASEAN. And thirdly, I think ASEAN is also respected for a good handler of the process of cooperation. So the process that ASEAN created, the process that makes everyone comfortable, the process that respects solidarity and consensus, I think those are also the kind of quality that helps ASEAN has a voice that is respected by the region and also by the international communities. Of course, sometimes we are complained that we are being slow. The process of ASEAN is a bit cumbersome, is not effective enough. But overall, I think the process that ASEAN promotes works for the benefits of all. So I think that's also important.
Yeah, thank you to Dr. Nguyen Hung Son. And Ambassador Dato, you see that peace is the key for all efforts and the greatest achievement of ASEAN. And what are your assessment of the importance of peace for the ASEAN internal development as well as the relation with its partners?
I think peace is the key, as Southeast Asia is always situated when a huge regional rivalry, or maybe world now superpower beyond its region. And many in the history we see that there's always fight for dominance, and also there's always inter-regional conflicts that had happened from time to time. Since the establishment of ASEAN, I must say, ASEAN has projected peace, stability, and development. The development part is very important. You do not have peace and stability, you will not be able to develop. And this has actually a cascading effect. So we have ASEAN, original ASEAN members, and once we have achieved stability, development come, and the living standard of our people has went up tremendously. This is the prerequisite of the region, and once the outside world can see that, oh, you are having a very cohesive and peaceful environment, they will come and invest in your region. And this also provide jobs opportunities, and again increase the living standard. And because our people before was in poverty, and also not very nutrition, but because of the peace, stability of the region, and the government of the region will be able to embark on the most important nation building, which is to give the people a better living standard. And this is always the core principle of ASEAN. It's a kind of essentially is a kind of economic community where we wanted to work for the benefit of all people in our region.
Yeah, thank you. Dr. Nguyen Hung Son, I think that, what do you think about the peace that ASEAN is having? Why the world is now, the peace is very valuable and very rare. And what do you think about that?
It can't be taken for granted.
Yes.
It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of goodwill to maintain peace. And having seen so many disruptions of peace in the world today, we have to re-emphasize that ASEAN is such a valuable project that has been able to ensure and sustain peace in this region, which is so vital for regional prosperity and stability. And so we have to guard that peace with even greater trust, greater cooperation among member states of ASEAN. And therefore, we have to re-emphasize why ASEAN is so important to all of us.
Yeah, thank you.